the disappointment of Sunday's FA Cup exit, it's time to regroup and react as Cherries face the Tractor Boys at Dean Court. Ipswich, they're desperate for points, but so are we, because frankly, our form has dropped off a cliff. Bournemouth, we sit 10th in the Premier League table, and after a 45 minutes to forget against Manchester City at the weekend, Iraola will be keen to put the tractor back on the tracks against a side who have been struggling to acclimatise to life in the Premier League this season. Tom,
yeah,
this one all of a sudden has become massive for us.
Yeah, that is a big game. I think with some of the results recently, and we're trying to get back the winning ways. And I think no disrespect to Ipswich at all, because I remember when we went there this season, they were tough nut to crack. They played quite well against us, and we're lucky we had to score quite late, didn't we? But we've got to be looking at Ipswich at home as a game bounce back. We simply have to. And yeah, football can change very quickly. You win that game, you go to West Ham with confidence, then you got Fulham at home, and you start going, we're doing all right again. So yeah, big opportunity. A few players back, so yeah, look forward to it.
So let's remind ourselves of just what happened at Portman Road. It was a good one. See what?
What a goal! What a good goal! Really well worked that. Tom has had enough for now. Let's get a point in. That goes!
Cracking times. You know what? It wasn't the game was a little bit underwhelming, albeit the substitutions had some really good effects, but the pub beforehand, mate, it was bouncing.
Oh yes, the DJ, yeah, of course.
So good.
Yeah, it was good. I love little things like that. It doesn't take a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To just think, what's some of the songs, generic songs, get Bournemouth fans singing the dance. It was quite decent weather and all that, so it was all good. And yeah, like you say, it was one of them games that we were having at that period where we bought on subs and they both scored right at the end. There was 87 and 95.
That's right. They took the lead though. Who was it who scored for them?
Chaplin,
That's fine.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, and they had I think they had a goal to Slough as well. They were playing goal. I thought they were quite good actually. In the game, I thought, actually they might have a chance at Southampton, but they probably showed that little bit of vulnerability at the end, and we punished them fortunately. And I forgot about who now.
Yeah, it was a really convincing header, wasn't it? Really convincing.
Bullet, absolute bullet header. Yeah. Great.
Practically their own goal is what we're saying. But then Matara at the far post.
And that was Billing done a lot of work, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you think, Billing and Lou now, it feels like forever ago, but it was this season.
But their league table position, it's not so good. If you look at that, you would probably say it is done. I mean, look at the form of the bottom three. I mean, absolutely appalling, mate.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, obviously it's a 19-team league this season anyway. You've got the bomb dwellers there.
Yeah.
But Leicester and Ipswich is just too far away from Wolves. And also, you add to that I actually think Wolves will get more points than them anyway.
Yeah.
Like, even if it was 1 point, I'd still think Wolves are stronger. So it's going to be really hard for them. But I think from our perspective, it's probably a good thing that Ipswich have got to try and win. And like a point's not good because they could have sat back and whereas they've got to score in this game.
Yeah.
So I think that'll help us, mate.
In terms of the form table, AFC Bournemouth's Premier League form is not so great. We are currently just outside of the relegation zone in terms of form, 17th. Ipswich, they are one of the three sides that are below us in that as well. Of course, it would have to be the newly promoted sides, wouldn't it? And as we take a look at the home table and the away table, this is where AFC Bournemouth are pretty much mid-table, 11th. Ipswich Town, in terms of their away form, well, look at their home form, it's not so good either, but away, 18th.
Mad how we're so much stronger away.
Yeah.
We're like 5th in the away table.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
But whereas in your head you always go, oh, good, we're at home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But we're actually better away. I wonder if that's because teams play more.
Yeah.
Because they're at home and they think, I've got to have more of the ball, and we catch them a little bit more maybe.
As always, the place to be on a match day is the QP. It was busy busy on Sunday, mate. Had to recruit some extra bar staff there and then to pull the pints. And look, it was a nice sunny day. Everyone was enjoying the pre-match vibe and watching the live sport. This time round, of course, it's a Wednesday fixture, so make sure you get there because there'll be all the usual match day food. Come and enjoy it. And remember, if you want to hire the courtroom, just check out the details below. Check out their Facebook page. Everything is on there. Okay, we'll have a look at Ipswich's recent results then, mate. We'll start from, say, the start of February. And there is a little trend in here that they don't get many points, but when they do, it comes away from home. So this one at the start of Feb was arguably a game changer for their season, really, because not good. Saints at home, losing.
That's one where it wasn't a 6-pointer because Southampton had gone, but that was one they would have gone, right, we've got to win this to have any chance, and you think how much better they look with just them 3 extra points. So yeah, I was surprised they lost that one. I was actually surprised how well they did against Coventry, a good side, and I just thought they would throw the cup a little bit.
Yeah.
And they smashed them. The point at Villa was impressive.
Great point.
That's a really good point at Villa. Obviously we got a point there as well, but it is still a very good point. Surprised at how much they struggled against Tottenham because I thought they would have chance in that game. Man U game, they were unlucky. I think they went there and gave them a game, and they narrowly got beat. And Forest, they were unlucky because you think 1-1 draw, and then
on pens.
Yeah, on pens. If you could have just got over the line there, who knows? Because Forest are now in the semi-final.
Yeah.
Palace away, tricky place to go. They haven't played them at a good time because Palace are definitely on a resurgence. And yeah, when they're at home to Forest, they just didn't quite have enough. But yeah, there's a lot of them in there that you just think, they're kind of, there's obviously a few that the game's got away from them, but there was a few in there where I've watched them and gone, it's just that little, against us as a prime example, they're in a game, that little bit of quality in both boxes is just costing them, and I think will cost them inevitably.
Yeah, so Ipswich's form is better away from home. A league high 59% of Ipswich's points in the Premier League this season have come away from Portman Road. Indeed, in 3 of the last 4 occasions of the Tractor Boys avoiding defeat in the league have been away matches. And as I seem to remember, we've not got a great record against them at Dean Court. Let's check out their head-to-head. We'll do it since, say, start of 1987. So we're going back, 30-odd years? Or is that 40-odd years? No, 40-odd years now. Blimey, time flies. And that was, a draw at Dean Court, 1-1. We have beaten them at Dean Court at 1988. We did it again in 1990. But since then, mate, the only win that we've had has been at Portman Road. We've not played them that many times, but any games stand out there?
Well, I remembered that and I was just making sure I was right when I was. The 2 seasons we were first in the Championship and obviously got promoted, we drew every game to them. But if you remember then, obviously with both teams in the Championship, and obviously that first season we come to Ipswich were under McCarthy always around that playoff spot. And I remember the ones in our promotion season at the time, so I think it was November sort of time. I remember thinking it's not a bad point against it. Don't get beat to Ipswich, because Ipswich are around us. So yeah, we were quite close in the Championship. But yeah, it's not the best record in the world, but they never beat us either in that time. Obviously, we got pumped to them in the cup game not too long ago. Oh yeah, 96 that is. But yeah, it's not the best record in the world. But as you say, mate, we haven't played them a lot really in recent times.
So last time we played them at home, it was 2-2. Can you remember the scorers of that?
I can remember one.
Go on.
Jan Kermigan.
Yeah, was that like the scissor kick?
Yeah, what a goal.
I'm not real.
I can't remember who scored the other one.
It was Marici. So they equalised through Teddy Bishop, and then Daryl Murphy then earned the away point for his side.
He had a really good season, like Daryl Murphy, I rember.
I think I was in hospitality for that one. And I remember watching that. And and I was watching with an Ipswich fan as well, Leaf,
Leaf? Yeah, Leaf Davis.
Not Leaf Davis. And there's a connection for you, played for both later on, of course. But look, in all our home league games against Ipswich, Bournemouth have won 8, drawn 7, lost 1, so that's all right. In all competitions, won 12, drawn 13, lost 14. Not so great. This, of course, will be a chance for a league double for AFC Bournemouth, our first over Ipswich, by the way, since the 1949-50 season.
What a season.
In the 3rd Division South. I wasn't born then. And Ipswich have only won 1 of their 16 league matches against Bournemouth. So it feels like recency bias would suggest that their record at Dean Court is actually all right. However, overall, if you're going back, then it's actually pretty bad. So how will the game go? So we've got a bit of a lack of form here, mate, but so have they. But you've got to think that technical quality from us would surely get us over the line in this one.
You'd like to think so, mate. It'll be no game of the Premier League is easy unless you're playing Southampton. So it's going to be tough. I think you've got to spin a positive on the sense that we've been in awful form and we're still playing a team who's had worse form. So
yeah,
and we said this when we spoke about the cup game and bits, that I think the perfect thing when you've just had a horrible one in terms of not played well, but also it's so close to Wembley and all that stuff. It's good to have a game quickly, I think, and you can bounce back and you get back out there and stop dwelling on it too much. So that's good. And obviously we've got a few bodies back. So I'd like to think we have too much, mate. There's been a few games this season where I thought that and we maybe have struggled, but I like to think that we'll just go, look, dust ourselves off. Got a concentrate on the league now. Let's go and get the job done.
In terms of worrying trends, Bournemouth, of course, we've lost 3 of our last 4, having lost only 3 of the previous 18 before that. That shows you where we're at form-wise. But look, Ipswich's form is worse, so don't worry about it. They've lost 8 of their last 9 Premier League games, including their last 4 on the bounce. So look, it's a chance for certain players to get themselves back into form as well. Look, we know that we'll have a couple of players returning, but even the ones that aren't returning that played in the cup loss against Manchester City, there were a few that probably want to improve what they did. Anton Semenyo was a menace in the first half, and we know his stats about having the highest amount of ball carries. I think 5,373 metres, the highest
Off the top of your head,
for a non-defender in the Premier League. I know that stuff. But first half, great. Second half, a bit off the boil. But also they've got players as well, like Liam Delap as well.
Hi, mate. And I think this again, not meant in any disrespect, but if they do go down, which I think they probably will, they ain't keeping him, I don't think. No, it's a hell of a side. And I think a lot of clubs, kind of not the top ones, but that kind of middle bracket, ourselves probably included, if we hadn't signed ever, will be in for him.
He's their leading scorer with 10 goals, isn't he?
He's been brilliant. I love that he's English. I actually felt like he deserved a call up, actually. When you think Solanke, to be honest, hadn't played loads of football, Watkins was out of the English squad, I thought he might get a chance.
Yeah.
I do think that's around the corner. But I believe that City obviously sold him, Man City. I think they've got like a buyback, like one. So they could do that.
I really like his physicality and just his profile. I think it's great.
Do you remember I watched
old school striker.
COVID, we lost to Man City in the cup.
Yeah. He scored for them.
And I remember he scored, and I remember watching it with you.
Yeah, we were.
And I remember saying, he looks, so maybe we knew, mate. But no, I did always think he looks like a good young player. Maybe didn't think he'd be Premier League at this point. I think he'd done well at Hull, I think it was, in the Championship. So, yeah, always good because he's English. I also think if he plays, Amari Hutchinson's one that I've looked at. I think he was at Arsenal before, Chelsea. He's been at some big clubs, but got that little bit of quality. Teams like that, you have a lot of good hard workers, hard grafters, but you need someone with a bit of magic, and he's one of them, I think.
So why have Ipswich failed this season then? Is it maybe the naivety of thinking that what they did in the Championship can work in the Premier League? Is it lack of quality when it comes to it?
I think we've said this a few times, haven't we, that it feels to me like, Southampton are like Sheffield United last season, where they're just down. And then Leicester have like changed manager, trying to do all these different bits, but like Berlin went, but ain't good enough. Ipswich feel like Luton in the sense that they're. I know there's a few big wins and defeats in there, but they always feel like they're in them for a scrap. They're in the game. They got some big players in there that are working their socks off, and you always feel like they're giving everything. And then in both boxes, they haven't quite got enough. I think they're a little bit too. There's certain players that play every week that I think you're a good Championship player. And I felt like that was what was happening at Luton.
Yeah.
They'll definitely hope they don't have a season like Luton next season. But yeah, I think it's both boxes. I mean, the Ipswich fans, if you watch it, let us know. Because if you've got a player that's playing so well and he's a striker and he's in double figures, that would maybe suggest actually they're weaker defensively than I realise.
Yeah.
Maybe they do concede too many sloppy goals. But yeah, I just don't think they've quite got the quality, mate. And maybe some of the signings like Calvin Phillips and that are not quite being.
Was it them that won at Spurs this season? Did they win at Spurs? Yeah. I mean, Leicester did as well, didn't they?
Yeah, that's Spurs.
I mean, that is Spurs. But you know what? It could be one of those campaigns that it's just a memory. And for Luton Town, who are fighting relegation in the Championship at the moment, I mean, I don't think Ipswich will be anywhere near that at all, because I think one of the key things is keeping hold of Kieran McKenna.
Of course.
Because I think he's got a bit more about him than, say, Rob Edwards did.
Yeah, like,
I don't want to say that disrespectfully because he's a gorgeous human being. Rob
I mean, sorry, Kieran, but you can't touch him.
No.
But yeah, he's
In terms of footballing now, so I think he's just a bit...
Yeah, no, definitely. I think tactically as well. I think that also, I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but it feels to me like Ipswich have got more younger players that would stay with them and would get better. Whereas I think Luton had some of their better players. They're like Colton Morris up front. I think he's like 30. Do you know what I mean? They're not. They didn't have as many young players, and obviously they lost their best player, Ross Barkley. Yeah. They'll probably lose theirs in Leon Delap. So can they cope a bit more? I think they would.
Let's check out the injury news then. We know that Marcus Tavernier missed the game against Man City with an injury. We know that Dean Howson and Milos Kerkez will be available again after missing the cup game. Here's the latest list from premierinjuries.com. Of course, anything now we know about Marcus Tavernier hopefully targeting the Fulham game for a return. Araujo, of course, Sinistera, but look at the bottom of the list. Justin Cliver, today's presser from Iraola, suggested that he's got a bit of a knock and it's going to be a late test after training later on today. So we're not too sure how that one's going to pan out. Kind of worrying, but I'm assuming that it'll be in the squad in some shape or form, but not necessarily starting. So that is going to be a big miss for us.
I think it's mad that we, not in a horrible way, but we're not, Unau's not a massive miss for us. But they'll be thinking, that Unau's how he come on and score against us. Do you know what I mean? No, so they've got a few as well, though.
Yeah.
Haven't they? They've got, so it always reminds me of you, Sammy Schmodix, because we done a little behind the curtain, do a little prediction thing that we at the start of the season. And Sam went for top championship goal scorer, Sammy Schmodix, and he left about a day later. So that you avoided. Yeah. But he is a good player, so I think that's a big miss for him. And obviously Chaplin scored against us, and he's a doubt, I think. Twan Zabi, do you remember we were linked with him a bit?
Twan
Zabi, yeah. Wesley Burns. So Benny, who was actually signed from Luton.
Yeah, that was
quick lad. So they've got a few out, to be fair to them. The goalkeeper's still out as well, Muric. So yeah, I mean, when you're in that position, you don't want anyone out, do you? You need everyone fighting together. But I think most of their star players are still available.
And they call him Robbie Joe. Oh no, I'm singing the wrong song. I was singing Puppy. What was it?
Me and Robbie
Joe.
Robbie Joe. Oh, was he a ref?
He's the ref. But I'll tell you what, we've got a bloody good record on it.
Oh, come on.
Really good record. So, by the way, Rob Jones is ref. John Brooks is going to be the fourth official. VAR, Graham Scott.
Do you know that no one gives a shit when you say that?
Yeah. But look, this season, 2-2 against Fulham, 2-2 against Chelsea, 4-2 win at Wolves, 2-0 against Arsenal. Obscene record. So, even last season, I think he did our Forest 3-2 win at their place. So I think there was a Villa 3-0 loss that he officiated. That's been the only Premier League loss under him.
I'm thinking about
Come on.
The only fit. So I've got to the 2 wins. At Wolves, he gave us 3 penalties. Yep. Amazing. At Arsenal, against Arsenal, we sent off Saliba and gave us a penalty.
Yep.
But at Chelsea,
yeah,
that free kick shouldn't have stood because of that law with the wall.
You're right.
And the Fulham game, James Hill had a goal disallowed that shouldn't have been. So I'm a little bit like that with Jonesy. So big one for you, Jonesy, because otherwise you'll have my wrath.
Get it right. Right. Let's do a played for both.
Ooh.
I can't remember. We did one of these for the return fixture, the reverse fixture.
Oh, sure.
So do I. So I had to look it up yet again. So here we go. Here's the team then in red for Cherries and blue for Ipswich. Right, who's in goal?
And got clue. Because I could only think of one goalkeeper that's played for both.
Yeah, which is
Asmir Begovic.
Yeah, but no, I didn't do him. A lone keeper, and I've mentioned him before, Andy Marshall.
You have mentioned before, but
played in the 90s.
But I'm going to act nerdy now because I know who the right back is, and he wasn't always a right back. He's up as a winger, and he's Canadian, I think. Jamie Peters.
Correct.
I remembered him. Leif Davis left back.
Yeah.
You've just put CV, but technically it's CCV. Cameron Carter-Vickers and Tyrone Mings.
Correct. Let's do the midfield.
I believe actually that I can't remember what it's on, sorry, because it's not actually on telly, but Matt Holland is doing the commentary on something.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's played for both. The Rat. Is that the Rat?
Yeah, that's the Rat.
And also Liam Feeney. Is it Liam Feeney? Did he play for him?
Yeah, Liam Feeney. Yeah.
I just saw LF and I was like, did he play for him? He did.
Yeah, Liam Feeney.
Let's give us a go. Brett Pittman, definitely.
Correct.
Definitely Kiefer Moore. DM. Your clue.
Come on.
Yeah.
Now players trade for what? Notts County, is it?
Dave McGoldrick.
How did you not get that?
Dave McGoldrick. Just everyone.
Played
for everyone.
What was the Saints as well? Did he play for?
Yes, he played for the Scum as well. Yes, and he played. I think we had one recently that he played for. It's always what I was thinking of. I think they had Leon Best as well.
Yeah.
And I think Leon Best and Dave McGoldrick just go everywhere together. It feels like they've always played. They're the same player. Leon Best's son plays for our kids' academy.
Did he?
Better stuff for you there. That was just pointless. But you did talk me about the ref, so.
Let's do Matt Stats then. So this checks out the form of Ipswich Town, our opponents, and taking a look at the last 4 games. There are 2 home games, Spurs and Forest, and 2 away games, Man United and Crystal Palace. Of course, we know that they gained 0 points, but on screen, if you're looking at YouTube, you can see the XG comparisons. In the last 4 games, they've had 4 goal scorers, Jaden with 2 and also 3 players with 1 each. Clark has 2 assists and 2 players have 1 each. The average positions, this is going to be interesting, at the starting lineups below. So the defence is quite high for a team near the bottom of the table, which maybe emphasises this kind of naivety thing that we're talking about, deploying that same championship style. But I tell you what, they are definitely gettable. The following plot on screen compares the summary stats of Ipswich and AFC Bournemouth over the last 4 games. Goal attempts per game is slightly higher in AFCB's favour. Although we had more big chances, we have actually scored 1 fewer goal. Worrying times? Nah, we'll be fine. And this is the possession percentage between the teams, very similar, although Ipswich have a higher pass completion rate. Ipswich have got a low proportion of chances from open play, indicating that they do focus on their set plays. So we have got to be on the ball when it comes to defending those.
Can't believe you done that. On the ball.
What?
Playing Ipswich. You just said on the ball. They're not going to like that. Norwich.
On the ball, City! Let's do teams, come on. Apologies. Right, let's do our team then.
Yeah,
Come
usual,
on.
usual 4-2-3-1. I mean, capital being goal. I'm making a few little changes because I think we've just had a cup game. We've got a few players come back. There's a few carrying knocks, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to put James Hill at right back.
Yep, okay.
Because I don't think Smith will be ready, and you'll see why he's gone to right back and Cook hasn't.
I've got it. I think that Smith might start.
Okay, not bad. I wouldn't mind that either. But I'm going to go James Hill.
Okay.
And I also was going to say, because you just mentioned it as well, so it feeds into it nicely. They're good from set plays. James Hill would add another aerial, do you know what I mean?
Nice.
Zabani and Howson will come back. Kirkers will come back in the left back. Tyler Adams will play. I'm going to put Lewis Cook in the midfield.
So Cookie's going to get licensed.
Yes, I think they might try that.
Hope he's not forgotten how to get up that side of the pitch. Cliver not in that 10 then. It could be if he's okay, but Christie then you're going for, which I kind of understand. He's carrying a knock himself, and you sort of wonder whether the recruitment are slightly regretful over not doing anything in January after the mini crisis that we seem to have again. But hey, we always seem to thrive under pressure. So yeah, I understand that one. What else?
I was debating giving Semenyo a rest that he needs, but I just think because of what you could do, I think you'd rather him start and take him off. And I'm going to bring Dango back in.
Fully fed, fully watered.
Exactly. And I think, yeah, we'll give him a go down there and try and mix it up a little bit, obviously with no Tav, and then Evan Nilsson in the line.
Okay, similar formation then for
yeah.
Switch. What are you going for?
They do occasionally go to a 5, but they've more recently gone to that 4. Palmer's going to have to play in goal because Muric is out still. I think O'Shea, he's a bit like what I was saying with James Hill. He's kind of a centre half that can play full back.
By the way, fair play to Ryan Wolfenden, who's done really well since being with AFCB Academy, now playing for Ipswich. Is that Ryan?
No.
Oh.
Luke, I think his first name is, Wolfenden, but I'm going to put him McGree for centre half. And as I say, the reason I put O'Shea at right back, who's quite often can play centre back, because they kind of have that horseshoe because Leif Davis loves to bomb on. So then they kind of tuck into a 3 at times when Davis bombs on, obviously former player. Calvin Phillips I think will play. They could go Morsey, but I'm going to go Calvin Phillips. And Kajust, I think that's how you pronounce it, Swedish lad who's been a good signing from actually. I'm going to put Jack Clark on the right.
Right.
I'm going to put Hutchinson kind of a little bit more floating in that 10. And that's only because I think Enciso is a doubt on loan from Brighton, I believe. Yeah. And he's been doing quite well. But I think because he's a doubt, I'm going to put Hutchinson in there. And then Jaden Philogene, who's obviously, you mentioned earlier, scored a few for him on loan. I think they've signed him permanently now from Aston Villa.
Whenever I see his name, I think it looks like a brand of toothpaste.
Philogene, oh yeah, I like that.
Just like it.
Yeah, random, but why do I get that? I'm like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a good, exciting young Englishman, so I've look forward to seeing him actually. And then obviously Delap will lead the line, mate. So that's what I'm going to go with for them.
So how is it going to go? Let's chuck a few stats at you before we make our decisions, all right? So both teams have scored in each of the last 8 league games. So when Bournemouth have played Ipswich, there have been goals for both sides. That stretches back as far as March 1989. And also a stat for Bournemouth. We have scored first in both of their last 2 league games, but failed to win each time. Indeed, since Andoni Iraola joined the club at the start of last season, only Brentford and Spurs have failed to win more Premier League games when they went 1-0 up in the Cherries. I think we're on 14, Spurs 15, Brentford 60. Will that determine what happens on this one? No, it doesn't. But maybe it will help you to predict what's going to happen. So see the little comments box underneath. You might be on your phone. Just scroll up and then you'll be able to see it. Pop in your prediction. We'd love to know what it is. You came to me first on the last preview, so let's go to you. What are you going for?
Yeah, it's interesting to see that stat about both teams scoring, because I actually think we can have an El Marino backing us to keep a clean sheet in this one. But I don't think it will be. I think it'll be a really tight game, and I think we'll have to be patient. My worry is they'll might let us have the ball a little bit, and we prefer to be a bit more counter. But I think we're just going to have enough, mate. So I'm going to go on 2-0. 2-0 to Bournemouth, and I'm going to go Semenyo's going to get back and score and have a good game as well. He needs it. So, yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 Bournemouth. What about you?
4-0.
What?
4-0. Mate, 4-0. Mate, we need a reaction, and we're going to get a reaction. We'll be 3-0 up at half-time, then we'll add a fourth. We'll shut up shop, job done, 4-0. There you go. That's what's happening. Do you agree? If you do, like this video, we'd truly appreciate it. But there's another thing you can do, right?
Yeah, click the subscribe button and click the bell as well. I just hate it when you're confident.
What? Oh, we're going to lose 4-0.
No, because you know when you're like, I'm really worried about today, then we always do something that surprises you. You remember like Newcastle was that, and then when I always say this to you,
Mate,
Leicester, you were confident.
what I say doesn't matter.
Nothing matters. Football will never end. Don't worry about that.
Matter. Up the Cherries, looking forward to seeing you at Dean Court. Come on fan cams if you want, but all the usual stuff is available, including the match day vlog on the following day. Hopefully, it'll be a good one for once. You Reds, come on.
Come on, boys. Come on. Back to winning ways. I fancy it now.
Oh, dead late.